In business and in life, confidence is a valuable asset. There are things more valuable in life that we overlook when it comes to adding assets to our portfolio. I'm not talking about assets like real estate or jewelry. People underestimate the value of consciously creating confidence. So I want to dive into confidence and just what that means. When you examine confidence, you immediately see fear is absent. So do we admire fearlessness as confidence? What are we really admiring? Courage. Courage is to have a quality of mind which enables one to meet danger without fear, or at least face it with a little bit of courage that we do have. Courage helps create confidence. Your dreams cannot turn into goals, and if they do not turn into goals, then they cannot become a reality. So in consciously creating confidence, I decided I would rather have courage, which is the baseline of confidence. You might get a little anxiety, but that's a good thing because that gives you a meter that you're heading towards doing something new and unknown. That is innovation. There's so much talk about how anxiety is bad. I don't see it as a bad thing. For me, anxiety is a good thing. It tells you when something is off with a person. It tells me that I am in the wrong area. It tells me I have the wrong business partners. It tells me the client is all wrong for me. It tells me that I'm in the wrong environment. It tells me that I have to do better. I see it as a universal meter to do better. An intuition in my system gives me direction, and we all must learn to tap into it. Think of it as a natural gift and a metric system of sorts to help guide us and try to embrace it. So we must examine what type of anxiety we are experiencing and why. When we ignore signs, we subconsciously develop anxiety, especially when there is a wrong fit in business. I welcome you to schedule a free consultation with me in developing a customer persona, stakeholder persona, and employee persona to eliminate these stresses. There will be a link in the show notes. We all have an idea of what we do not like in customers, stakeholders, and in employees. These are a few things to keep in mind when dealing with stress in business. Anxiety is heavily associated with fear. But this does not have to do anything with your confidence. Look at it as intuition. So let's talk about fake confidence versus real confidence. That type of confidence can easily be swayed out of you. No human is 100% confident 100% of the time. So imagine if your confidence is not real confidence. I mean, to a certain extent, we all practice. But true confidence comes from the courage to sacrifice something that is comfortable for you, familiar to you, or safe to you. Once you sacrifice something, then you're all in, and there's no rehearsal needed to walk in confidence. It can be investing in something. It could mean giving up leisure time to hunker down and work hard to make it look like an easy kind of confidence. Why do I think confidence is very important? Because confidence allows you to accomplish anything you set your mind to. How do you create confidence? Well, the baseline is courage. Where does courage come from? You have to have a belief system that is solid on something in order to obtain courage. Because if you believe something, then your mind is not occupied with fear. It is occupied with a belief system you want to execute. In that mindset, you become fearless. That is how you gain confidence. You can't gain it by rehearsing it because when your confidence is tested, it will not bounce back as it should if it's real confidence. And believe me, people will test it. You cannot start off with stage confidence. How can you develop an unwavering confidence that is indestructible? You may think creating a company values is just for show and is part of the business procedures everyone does, but you're wrong if you think so. Because confidence comes from truly believing in something. It cannot be rehearsed. What are your core values? What do you really believe in? What is it you cannot live without? What is it that moves you? I'm going to explain why it is important to use a belief system to create confidence versus stage confidence. Because when you believe in something, you will sacrifice for it. And when you sacrifice for it, you made a transaction. And because it was a transactional process, it will eventually be transformational as well. You gave up something for that goal that you seek. And once you do that, your confidence can't be shaken, and it is different, and it's definitely not stage confidence. So if an intrusive thought of doubt comes into your mind, it is quickly squashed because you paid the price already and don't care. What do I mean by this? Well, you put in the time to learn. You put in the time to say no to things that would obstruct your goals, whether it was shopping, going out, giving up time, or investing in your goals. You went the opposite direction of everyone else to be where you are today. You have given up so much of your time for your goals, and you have the confidence to follow through. Why is this mindset important? Because of detractors. Now, let's talk about detractors. Detractors is a person who disparages someone or something, slander or vilify someone or their attributes. They weaponize words out of context to discourage you. We'll get more into detractors more in a few. Let's talk about confidence in sales. If you have to manipulate someone in sales, then you're clearly stating you're not confident in what you have to offer. It shows that you have to create tactics to lure people into a purchase. This is why you have to have confidence in what you're selling. Half of the battle in sales is confidence. Now, there's a difference between fear-mongering in sales and providing consequences to your prospects and providing favorable outcomes to your prospects with your value proposition. If you have to manipulate someone into purchasing something, then how can you have confidence in yourself and what you sell? This is not always the case, especially if you are desperate to make your numbers and your quarterly quota is a factor in your approach. But it becomes a cycle of ups and downs in maintaining a positive mindset. It will eventually affect morale in sales. This is where you can alleviate stressors and anxiety for your sales team. Create a sales process that will maintain morale both for your sales team and your customers. This is also where your sales team can provide feedback to the marketing communications team on changes in the market from firsthand conversations with individuals. Remember, marketing and sales are a team. Now, let's talk about entrepreneur confidence when networking. As we already talked about detractors, who are people who tear down confidence, one observation I came across is an entrepreneur speaking to an employee mindset individual at a networking event. What do I mean about employee mindset versus entrepreneur mindset? Employees tend to talk about years of experience, titles, promotions, processes, whereas entrepreneurs talk about ideas. This is where young people in their 20s can leverage someone in years of experience in which they have an idea turn into a business. So when you're an entrepreneur and you're young, make sure to engage with other entrepreneurs who focus on ideas at networking events. Don't allow an employee mindset to discourage you or lessen your confidence. You don't need advice on how to work for someone else for 20 years. In your business, you're looking for ideas for different strategies to implement your ideas. You are having the wrong conversations with the wrong people who are not looking at things in a holistic manner. Don't lose your confidence in talking to the wrong people who question you as an employee versus question you as an entrepreneur. This is why it is important to find the right networking events and speak to the right people at these events and learn to have the right questions in order to obtain a solution to your problems. I'm here to help. I'm here with a free consultation for any business. No purchase obligations in order to speak with me. I will have a link in the show notes for anyone interested. I highly recommend creating a meeting with me and discussing what are your possibilities as an entrepreneur with your goals. And we're moving into our last type of detractors, mansplaining. I am self-aware of how I appear. I live in my feminine energy. But make no mistake, I can come out of that in a hot second. As leaders, I believe we have both energies, and I have both at my disposal. I don't have a problem tapping into either one of them. Women in business need to embrace and tap into the energy that will correct the path and order of things. In the past, sometimes stillness and quiet worked to my advantage because I will then leverage the time and space. Or sometimes it is necessary to simply be outspoken. Either way, allowing someone to mansplain when you need to lead is a form of taking away your leadership confidence from other people. I also had women do this to me, in which they tried to demean my position to leverage themselves and ended up saying nothing supplemented any leadership conversation. It is usually the incompetent people who always want to detract from you. Now let's talk confidence in public speaking. So when you are in public speaking spaces or networking event, anticipate detractors or trolls. And do not allow for one moment their element of surprise to take away from you in any bit of your confidence. Not even for a minute. Learn to bounce back with ease and without notice. You have sacrificed and had the courage to move in directions that were difficult, and you gain confidence from it. Don't let anyone take it away from you, because it is the biggest moneymaker in this world of business, confidence. Thank you for joining us on our podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media and follow us on your favorite podcast